Hello, everybody, and welcome to our 26th annual Lunar New Year press conference held by SF Safe and SFPD. Oh, shoot. My name is Kyra Worthy, and I'm the Executive Director of San Francisco Safe. And again, I welcome you all. We're going to have our public safety partners speak on behalf of what we'll be doing for the Lunar New Year coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I first want to introduce Captain Farmer. He is the captain of Central Station here in District 3. So go ahead, Captain Farmer.
Thanks, Kyra. Welcome, everybody, to our press conference regarding the safety during our much anticipated Lunar New Year. We're excited to have it this year, and we're definitely working overtime at Central to make sure that the community is safe. We're working with all of our community partners to implement programs and extra patrols to make sure that the community is safe during this time. We are going to be working closely with the DA's office, of course, to make sure that everything is looked at and strategized and followed through on all of the dangers and all of the safety measures that we can take here in Chinatown during the Lunar New Year. We are making sure that our footbeats are fully staffed, and we're making sure to concentrate on those passageways and alleyways that are often overlooked. I mean, Grant Street is heavily patrolled, but we got to make sure that our passageways and alleyways are nicely looked after as far as public safety. We also want to put out there that this is the time for many blessing scams, and just to make sure that people are aware of the many blessing scams that are befallen upon the elderly and the folks in Chinatown. So we want to make sure that the community is aware. If they see something, to say something, to come to Central Station, which is a vital part of the community in Chinatown. And we are there to protect you. We are there to guide you. We are there to aid you in any of the problems that you may have during this Lunar New Year season. So please come visit us at Central Station. Our footbeats will be out. Our patrol officers will be out. Our ambassadors will be out. And we are there to serve you. So remember, have a great New Year, and please visit us at Central Police Station. Thank you.
Well done, Doug. All right, good morning, everybody. I'm Bill Scott, Chief of Police for the San Francisco Police Department. First of all, let me say thanks to all of you for being here in this rain. Hopefully we'll get a relief from the rain in the coming days, but again, it's another example of how this city pulls together to get through emergencies and hard times, and all the people standing up here with me are the reason that that happens, along with you all and the public. So thank you for that. We have more bad weather to get through, and I want to thank our emergency Department of Emergency Management, DEM, and Marielle Carroll, and our fire department, and all the workers in the city and county of San Francisco who have come together to get us through this period of bad weather. So what we're here for today, number one, I want to say Gong Hei Fat Choi, and I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. The Lunar New Year is really a time to celebrate, but it's also a time that we need to remind each other how we need to come together as a community to keep each other safe. This is the 26th year that SF Safe, Safety Awareness for Everyone, has organized this campaign on public safety. All the people standing up here with us, our elected officials, our district attorney, our Board of Supervisor members, our state senator, and of course all of our community members and our stakeholders. We are all in this together. I want to remind everybody about 2 years ago how bad things had gotten in terms of hate crimes against our AAPI community, businesses being attacked, the videos that went viral. And although we haven't solved everything, we are in a much better place in 2023 than we were in 2020 and 2021, and that's because of the work that we have done collectively. Hate crimes are down. We were able to solve many of those heinous crimes thanks to particularly the officers right here in Central District and the leadership of Acting Captain Farmer and his team. Our DA and our elected officials have come together, and I truly believe we are in a better place. But let me pause by saying we still have a lot of work to do. So I'm going to close my message by giving a couple of safety tips to reemphasize what was just said by Acting Captain Farmer. What you can expect from the police department is not only the continuance of presence, particularly in Chinatown during the Lunar New Year, our footbeat officers who know the community, know the members, know who the players are, know the good and the bad in that community. You'll see an increase in that. Unfortunately, celebrations carry with them opportunities for would-be criminals to take advantage of people, to take advantage of vulnerable people. There's safety in numbers. One of the things I want to remind people, if you can walk together, if you can shop together, fellowship and community building is really important to public safety. Want to make sure that we stay aware of the blessing scams, as Acting Captain Former talked about. But the other thing I want to make sure that we stay aware of, for those people that do engage in trading of cryptocurrency, there's a lot of scams out there involving cryptocurrency. And it's kind of an emerging area in criminal behavior. A lot of money has been lost, and a lot of people have lost their fortunes because of scams, outright scams. So let's be aware of that. Let's make sure you protect yourselves. Always double check who you're dealing with and try to verify who you're dealing with, whether it be blessing scams or cryptocurrency scams. There are a lot of people out there to take advantage of people who don't know any better as far as what's out there. When strangers ask for money, jewelry, don't even go down that road. Don't follow strangers anywhere. Don't bring them to your home, and definitely don't share your financial information. Before withdrawing money, if you are a person or type of person that withdraws large sums of money from the bank and carry it with you when you're walking or shopping, I would advise to rethink that. And if you do that, make sure you are aware of your surroundings. We do see people that stake out banks. They watch who's withdrawing money, and they follow them to wherever they're going, and then they rob them. And we don't want that to happen to anybody. Park smart. This is a campaign that we started several years ago, and it's really been effective. It's really just an awareness campaign and a prevention campaign. Don't leave valuables in your car. Don't leave them visible. If you have to leave valuables, lock them in your trunk, and that's not absolutely 100% going to prevent crime, but it does help. It helped tremendously. So you'll see Park Smart placards on the parking meters in public parking garages. And we want to remind everybody just to park smart. Don't leave valuables in your car. Captain Former said this, but if you see something, please say something. Please report it. Sometimes we get caught in the moment and we say, oh, somebody else is going to report that. Don't assume that somebody else is going to report it. If you see something that doesn't look right, call us. We'll come. I know sometimes we don't get there as quickly as you may want us to, but we will get there. And on a high priority call, we actually do get there pretty quickly. So if it's a crime of violence, a crime in progress, that is a high priority, what we call an A priority call. We get there on average within about 7 to 8 minutes. So we get there quickly, and oftentimes a lot quicker than that. So please call us. And the last thing I want to say is, when you celebrate for the Lunar New Year or any celebratory type of event, do that responsibly. Fireworks and firecrackers and things like that, do it responsibly. We don't want to see anybody injured from that. And let's all have a good time. And again, thank you all for being with us and working with us. And Gong Hei Fat Choi to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. As you all know, I'm your District Attorney, Brooke Jenkins. And I want to just first say that I am really excited to be here to usher in the Year of the Rabbit with you. Lunar New Year is one of the premier times in San Francisco, and I know that everybody is looking forward to celebrating it together. The District Attorney's Office is committed to ensuring that Chinatown is safe for its residents, for its businesses, and for its visitors, not just during the Lunar New Year holiday, but all year round. I know that there is concern, and has been, about hate crimes and violence directed towards the AAPI community, and in particular, Asian elders. We have been working diligently to make sure that those who target the AAPI community with violence and any other type of crime are held accountable. I am proud to partner with the San Francisco Police Department and the Mayor's Office and other law enforcement partners to stand with the community so that as a city, we do everything to improve the conditions that we see on our streets and to make sure that there is restored accountability for those who break the law. As the chief mentioned, although we have seen a decrease in the number of hate crimes, Lately, we know that we still have a lot of work to do in this area, and we will continue to make sure that we serve you and work to protect this community. Investments in the street violence intervention program and senior escort programs have helped, and so I continue to urge our elderly community in particular, but really anyone in this community, to make use of those services so that you can have a better chance at staying safe during this time. To prevent attacks, we must remain vigilant, plan, and be alert. Just as the chief mentioned, try not to travel or shop alone, especially at night. Don't carry large amounts of money or wear flashy jewelry or purses. Also remember that scams do increase during this time of year. Don't give money to anyone that you do not know. The other thing that I want to point out today and remind our residents is that our Victim Services Division is available to you if you are ever the victim of a crime. Getting victims the help that they need is essential to our office. Call 911 if there is an emergency, and in non-emergency situations, call the police at 415-553-0123 to report to them anything that you feel you need to. You can also speak to a victim services advocate in the DA's office in Cantonese, Mandarin, or Taiwanese by calling 628-652-4100. We are dedicated to serving any and all victims of crime, and will continuously work tirelessly to support victims and their families. Thank you to SF Safe for organizing this important event and for their long-standing efforts and dedication to this community and keeping our communities in San Francisco safe. Gung Hei Fat Choi. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Scott Wiener, have the honor of representing our community in the state Senate. I want to thank the police department and the district attorney's office and everyone who's going to be working so hard to keep the community safe during the Lunar New Year season. And I think we want to send a very loud message that we are going to be celebrating over the coming weeks as a community. And last year, Lunar New Year was incredibly vibrant, coming out of some of the worst parts of the pandemic. It's going to be even better this year, weather permitting. And I'm really excited about the parade and all of the celebrations over the coming month, or several months actually. And we should be celebrating as a community. And we need to send a very loud message to people who want to come into this community to take advantage of that celebration to victimize people, whether it's with hate crimes or robberies of our small businesses or scams. We want to send a loud message that we are not going to let that happen, and that you are not welcome here, and that we are not going to allow you to victimize members of our community. I also want to really emphasize, and this has been talked about, the scams that target our seniors. And we know that the blessing scam and other scams escalate during Lunar New Year season. But tragically, I know of various seniors in recent months and over the last year who have lost their life savings because of these scams, because they have trusted people that they shouldn't have trusted. And once people have their money scammed and stolen, it is incredibly hard to get that money back. It's hard to track down who did the scam. Sometimes they're out of the country. And so the most important thing we can do is to educate everyone, and particularly our seniors, about how to avoid scams. Next Wednesday at 11 a.m., I am partnering with my colleagues, Assemblymember Haney, Assemblymember Ting, and state agencies to put on a webinar, particularly for seniors, about how to avoid being scammed. And so you can call our office, contact our office to get information about how to log in and get some of the basic tips about how to keep you and your money safe during this season, but in general. So again, Happy New Year, everyone, and thank you to all of our public safety agencies for helping keep us safe.
Good morning. I want to thank all of you for coming out on this warm and balmy day. I'm David Chu, your city attorney, and as a Chinese elected official, I'm very grateful for all of the folks who have come together for this. As was mentioned, this is an event that happens every year I've been coming for the better part of the last 15 years, and the one thing I will observe about it is every couple of years, crime continues to evolve. 15 years ago, we were here talking about extortion, and then we were talking a few years later about blessing scams, and then we were talking about car break-ins. Recently, we've been talking about how financial information gets stolen when folks are tricked either through a phone call or through an email or through a WeChat message into giving up information. And of course, we all know about all the anti-Asian violence that has occurred in recent years. The fact of the matter is, crime has always been with us, but what we need to do is to stay vigilant. We need to make sure that everyone is looking out at every moment, being careful, looking out for your neighbors, looking out for your friends, and yourself, whether it be on the street or online. The second thing I want to say is everyone around us represents the family in San Francisco, a partnership of folks who are addressing public safety with our community partners like SF Safe, the mayor, the board of supervisors, the DA's office, the San Francisco Police Department, the Sheriff's Department. But we can't do our work without a real partnership with our residents. We need our citizens, all of our communities to engage with law enforcement, engage with community to address this. So with that, I just want to say, Sanin Failak, Santai Gin Hong, Mansi Yuyi, Bobo Go Sing, Gung Hei Fat Choi, Happy Year of the Rabbit. Thank you very much.
Well done, Mr. City Attorney. Good morning, everybody. Joseon Gokwai. I am District 3 Supervisor Aaron Peskin. Ohai Samkoisi Chamsi Poisi Kam. I want to thank, first of all of you from the media for coming here on this inclement weather day. I want to thank and acknowledge the elected officials that I'm standing with here. And most importantly, I want to acknowledge our partners and friends in law enforcement represented by our sheriff and police chief, commanders, deputy chiefs, and captains. But overall, I want to thank the working men and women, our Q2 officers from our police department. And then let me say what I've said before. All of our district stations are created equally, but Central Station and Company A is just a little more equal. Thank you to the working men and women of Central Station. I have behind me any number of captains or former captains from Central Station, all of whom are now in the command ranks of the San Francisco Police Department. Our city attorney spoke to the evolution of what we are doing here today. And as somebody who started attending these 3 years after this first started, when I was first elected 22 years ago, I want to speak to that evolution. It really started with extortion, not only in this neighborhood, but extortion in other parts of the city, along Clement Street, along Irving. And I am happy to say that through the good work of the community and law enforcement, that type of behavior has all but been stamped out in San Francisco. And yes, it evolved into the blessing scams of several years ago. And yes, Madam District Attorney, we have to stay vigilant. This is about how we treat each other. It is about how we come together as a community to be humane and caring. And I say that on the day where this morning I received a call from the Reverend Amos Brown, a former member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, expressing the horror and shame that we all are experiencing in the wake of seeing that horrific video of a housed individual who runs a business spraying water on an unhoused individual here in the Central District. That kind of behavior cannot be tolerated. We cannot let people scam other people. We cannot let people take advantage and abuse other people. And when that happens, we as a government have to signal that there will be consequences. So I want to say on this day, as the District 3 Supervisor, that I am hopeful that the San Francisco Police Department will present charges in that case. And I am hopeful that if the elements of a crime, and far be it for me as somebody who does not come from the law enforcement community, but it looks like a battery to me, that those elements will be charged. And with that, everybody have a happy, healthy, prosperous new year of the rabbit. Juk Dai Ga, Sundin Phai Luk, Sun Tai Gin Hong, Bobo Go Sing, Doje Go Kwai.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm San Francisco Mayor London Breed, and I am really grateful to be here with so many of our elected leaders across the city who care so deeply about making sure that we are keeping our residents, especially the people who live and the businesses that are here in Chinatown as we launch Lunar New Year in the city and county of San Francisco. This year signifies the year of the rabbit. We are hoping for, as a result of the year of the rabbit, peace, mercy, and kindness. We could use a little mercy and kindness in the world today, and I'm looking forward to seeing some great things happen as a result. We have so many extraordinary leaders in this community who have come together despite what we know the challenges around API hate in our city and in our country. And in fact, even though we saw a significant increase in the number of hate crimes committed against members of our Asian community, specifically our seniors, we saw a significant decline last year. And that had, I believe, a lot to do with not only the work of us coming together with members of the Board of Supervisors in our district attorney's office, but also organizations like Self-Help for the Elderly, CYC, and I see Sarah Wan here, and working with our street violence intervention program and taking care of the community and working together. In fact, because of our escort program that was established, those members of those organizations, they banked 10,000 hours and served 1,000 seniors and made sure that they got to their doctor's appointments or their errands, their shopping, and other things safely. As we launch Lunar New Year, this will be no different. We are going to be diligent. Our police department, and I want to thank members of the San Francisco Police Department and our police chief for their continued work out here in Chinatown. Many of the challenges that we have seen have really changed because of their presence, because of the work that they have done and will continue to do to keep people of this community safe. We do this every year with Kyra Worthy from SF Safe because this is really a partnership. This is a partnership with a number of community-based organizations, our San Francisco Police Department, and leaders. We want Lunar New Year in San Francisco to be a great experience, and it will be. And I want to thank the Chinese Chamber of Commerce, specifically Donald Liu, for their work on what will be an extraordinary parade on February 4th. It is going to make San Francisco shine like no other place. We also want to thank the Merchants Association here in Chinatown and the great work they're doing with Be Chinatown to support our merchants and to make sure that they not only recover after a very difficult time during the pandemic, but they thrive. We here today as elected leaders of the city make it clear that we are going to do everything we can to keep not only the residents safe during Lunar New Year here in Chinatown, but the residents all over the city as they go about the regular business of shopping and preparing for all the great festivities. So we want to thank you all for being here today. We have much work to do. As you can see, the weather continues to be very challenging, but I want to also just thank the people from the Department of Public Works, the people from the Public Utilities Commission, our officers, the folks who are volunteering to clear out storm drains, our arborists. So many people are out here making sure that as we weather this storm, that we're getting through it, that we're keeping people safe. And as we launch Lunar New Year in the city and county of San Francisco, rain will not stop us from celebrating the festivities. I am truly looking forward to celebrating the Year of the Rabbit and want to thank each and every one of you for being here to uplift and support this community.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Jocelyn Dagajo, good morning, everybody. Shimon Walton, District 10 Supervisor, and really just wanted to stand here with all of the leaders here, the police department, with all of my colleagues in elected life, and of course, all of our community representatives to say that this Lunar New Year, we are going to work to make sure that everyone is safe. Whether you're traveling on the Central Subway to Sunnydale to Visitation Valley or traveling from Visitation Valley to Chinatown, we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that we are providing a safe environment for everyone. We need everyone in community to remain vigilant, make sure that you are working together, spend time in groups, make sure that you are looking out for our seniors and our communities and in our streets. And we want to do everything we can to make sure that you understand what information is available to you if there are concerns. You have been given phone numbers. You know to contact 311. You know to contact 911 in emergencies. So we want everyone to work together to keep all of us safe during this Lunar New Year, during the Year of the Rabbit, which happens to be my year. Thank you so much to SF Safe for bringing everyone together. And thank you all for being here today to shout out that we are fighting for safety of everyone, particularly in times where crowds are going to be out in our communities. Thank you.
Does that make you 48? I will be next month. 1975.
Hi, I'm Joel Lingardio, supervisor. As the newly elected supervisor of the Sunset District representing District 4, public safety is my top priority because public safety is a major concern for residents of the Sunset. It's been a concern for a long time. The attacks on our Asian elders and crime in the Sunset been happening a long time. The world has drawn attention to it in the last couple of years, but we need to be vigilant to stop this crime. Lunar New Year is very important for the Sunset. It's a joyous time, and we should be focused on stopping crime for the rest of the year. And I have some good news. We have a new district attorney in town, Brooke Jenkins, who's committed to working on these issues. We have a really good police force led by Chief Scott. Our Captain Yick for the Sunset District is going to work hand in hand with myself. We're going to make sure that everyone stays safe and has a happy Lunar New Year. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Supervisor Asha Safai, representing District 11. Ganghe Fachoy. This is, in many ways, the rain that we've gotten is a sign of a blessing. In many cultures, water is a blessing. It begins the rebirth, the cleansing, and I feel like, in many ways, San Francisco needs a cleansing. Because one of the things that we have seen over the last 2 years, and there's been a lot of debate about is crime on the rise, is crime on the decrease? One thing that is not debatable is the brazen nature of crime that we've seen over the last 2 years. When did it become okay to push down a senior or an elder and kick them in the stomach or kick them in the head? When did it become okay to break into someone's home and steal their stove and their microwave? When did it become okay to target a community based on their ethnicity? And that's not to say the AAPI community is the only one experiencing crime, because we're all experiencing crime. But the brazen nature of the crime and the way the crime is committed, it's something that I have seen as a District 11 supervisor. I've seen it. I've talked to those families. Having their life savings stolen within 2 minutes is not okay. But the solution is collaboration. It takes a police department. I want to thank Chief Scott and all of the frontline men and women of our police department for the amazing work they're doing. It takes the sheriff, it takes the district attorney, and it takes the court system and the courts to follow through on that, and then probation to help to rehabilitate people as they go through the process. And in some cases, those that have addiction, because 70% of our recidivists that repeat crime offenders are those with severe alcohol and substance abuse issues. It's all of that together. So I want to say to the Chinese and AAPI community and the entire city of San Francisco, Happy Lunar New Year. We're all coming together as a city to say that this is the beginning of a rebirth, and a time for us to work together and bless this city. Thank you.
All right, everybody. My name is Malcolm Young. I'm here on behalf of the Chinese Chamber of Commerce. Our president couldn't be here. He sends his regards. I'm also here on behalf of a Chinatown Community Development Center. I just want to say three quick things. One, really, it's been a great working relationship with SFPD. Supervisor Peskin, now President Peskin, said it best. All the stations are built equally. We're a little more equal here. And I want to give a shout out to some of our former captains and acting Captain Farmer. We got Commander Eng back there. He was our immediate presser. Captain Yix at Taraval now, but he was also one of our captains. And while Daryl Fong was never a captain here, he was always a captain here, right? So thank you guys, and to also all the Foot Patrol officers who really actually make this community work well. I saw some of your guys here this weekend volunteering, and I was like, that means they're part of the community, and that means a ton. Yep, that's right. Secondly, I just want to say, the one thing that people didn't mention in terms of safety, we want people to take Muni to Chinatown, but be careful on Muni, because a lot of stuff happens there too. Central Subway just opened. It's a great way to access this community during the next couple of weeks, starting with the Flower Fair this weekend, and then the Chinese New Year launch celebration on the 22nd, and of course the parade and street fairs on February 4th and 5th. Lastly, I think we can't overlook pedestrian safety during this period. There's a lot of seniors out on the street. Bad things can happen if cars run into seniors. And so with that, I just want to end on a little bit of a fun note. I want everyone here to say with me, slow down for Chinatown on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Slow down for Chinatown. Unless you're going to take the Central Subway. All right, thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Sheriff Paul Miyamoto here. I just wanted to end by saying, as Malcolm mentioned, all of us coming together as a community, all of us in public safety are here for all of you, and the Sheriff's Office and all of our work with the police department in support of keeping everyone safe. As the crowds here grow, as we celebrate over the coming weeks for the Lunar New Year, we'll also make sure that all of the public safety resources grow with that crowd and become a part of the celebration and become a part of keeping everyone safe. So, in closing, just Juk Daga, San Nin Failak, Gung Hei Fa Choi, everyone.
So again, I'm Kyra with SAFE, and I do want to thank all of our public safety partners that we work with on a daily basis. Behind me, all the board of supervisors, and of course, Mayor Breed. During the Year of the Rabbit, we do also want to be sure that all the elders and folks are aware of all the phone scams that are coming through text messages. Clicking on unknown links that can then lead to your information being shared with folks that don't need to have it. So, and also reporting a crime. Reporting a crime on WeChat is okay, but you also want to call 311 and 911 and to your local police station to report the crime and to describe it in detail so that then the folks can get apprehended. So again, I want to thank all of you guys for coming out, and we'll see you again next year. Thank you very much, and happy Year of the Rabbit.